This is the AB Dick 9910 XCS. This video shows how to take a parent press that does not have the T-head on. We're going to go through and show how to put this T-head on, swing it on, and make it work correctly. And I'm going to teach you how to leave it on. And you can print of one color even with the T-head on, and that saves a lot of time. That's what I do. So I rarely ever take this T-head off. I've been operating this press 2 years, and in the meanwhile, most of the time I've been using this T-head on, even for one color jobs. But when I first started, I would just take it off because it's a lot easier. You have more access to clean the blanket, and it's a good learning experience. It shows you what's really going on with this press. So we're going to start by pushing this T-head in all the way. And you can only push it in so far, and then we're going to start cranking her down. And we're going to lower this in all the way. And we're going to be watching to make sure that this bar slides right into this groove nicely. You want it to go in with ease. You don't want to force anything. And then go an extra little bit of a turn and let the whole weight of it sit on these bars right here. And we have this tool that fits in right into this bolt. And get these in snug. This press vibrates a lot, and you want to really crank these in, but you don't want to strip the threads, obviously. So go into whatever you think is snug. And for me, I never take the T-head off, so I'm kind of going to crank on these a little bit. And then once that's in, don't plug this in right away. What you can do is stick your tool right in a slot, and you're going to rotate it, and you're going to see this bar rotate 90 degrees, and you're going to see a pin, and those are going to be facing outward. And now we can plug this in. I put a rubber band on here, and that helps this cord stay nice on this block, because the vibration of the press will actually shut the press off, and you don't want that. Now we're going to pull up on the T-head and push down on this. And you're going to slide this bolt right into a paw, or the paw's going to go over a bolt, and you're going to snug that up. And wiggle the T-head. You do not want this to come off. And you got to push down and pull up on the T-head. There's another bolt that looks just like this. And get that really snug. And let's start her up. The next step is to engage the T-head. Notice that when I started this press up, none of these T-head rollers moved, because if we take a look inside, you can notice that these teeth are not engaged, and so we're going to use this outer knob, and we're going to engage it. And if your knob is really stiff, and a lot of times it is, you can stick your tool in here and you can force that to engage and force to disengage, but it should work pretty nicely. And so I'll show you what that looks like when you're disengaging and engaging it. And you're going to want to rotate this around until you see the bottom of this cylinder. It's a plate cylinder. Rotate till you see this, and match that right up to the edge. And we're going to disengage the T-head, and we're going to spin until we see the bottom of this, and match those two lips up. And that will bring you in plus or minus one tooth on the T-head. And then close these up. We're ready to start the press. Notice that this is flipped up. This is your drive, and this is your pump. That's your suction pump. And so your drive is on, pump is off. Go ahead and start it up. Never have your flywheel moving. Make sure that's pushed in. You never want that to move. So far we have our T-head on, and that's ready to go. Now we have some THead tools that go in. This is your vertical micro adjustment that moves your T-head image this way or that way depending on which way you rotate. And we'll go over that in a minute. And then your square block fits in. Then this is your tilt. That slides right in. This is on the vertical micro adjustment. If you want your T-head image to move that way, toward the paper loading side, you're going to have to move counterclockwise. And if you want to move toward the catch tray that way, if it's got to go to your left, you have to rotate clockwise. So I have a nice sticker on here that shows a black arrow going left and a black arrow going clockwise. And a white arrow going right, white arrow going counterclockwise. And you don't have to turn these too much. Basically what I go by half turns, quarter turns on the press. And so what you're looking at here is quarter turns. And so if we go from one extreme to another, we got about 14 quarter turns. And so I usually just start out right in the middle. So now we're at the other end, so I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 6 or 7 turns is right in the middle. And now once we start printing, I'll know either to go left or right, and that will tell me clockwise or counterclockwise. Air vacuum is pretty easy, but it's very important. Each paper has a different thickness and density to it. Here's the air and vacuum knobs. We notice that we have a sticker down below and a sticker up top on the vacuum, and this is your air. And this represents 0, and this represents 0, and they all represent an even number of turns. And so on here we're going to set up for envelopes, and that's going to be 2 half turns on your air and 4 half turns on your vacuum. And you're going to want to go clockwise until you can't go anymore. And we have our indicator at the dot and our indicator at the dot on vacuum, and those represent zeros or evens. And so I go 1 half turn, 2 half turns, and we're down at this. 2 is an even number, so you know you did it right. And we're going to go 4 half turns on the vacuum, even number. We know we did it right. And buckle up here, we're at 3. Buckle is the distance between your sucker and the top edge of your paper. Right behind the flywheel we see a hole here and a number indicator that doesn't show up too well. But there's numbers in here that are on a disc. That's called your impression. You have your impression cylinder and your blanket cylinder. And you can see that the parent press lays down its image first, and the T-head puts its color on second, and those are impressed onto a sheet of paper in between your blanket and impression. This is the paper stack feed rate. This knob goes up or down. Up is faster, down is slower, and we have a range from 1 to 8, but you also have your high value and your low value, and you can see that there's a dot indicator that represents it's on high. You can switch that to low. And I put labels all over my press to help me out, and I know that paper that's below 65 pound, you're going to set your dot to low. Paper above 65 pound, you're going to set to high. And I have books and charts that tell me exactly what paper has which values.